Hello everybody, welcome back to Dominions 5. We're playing as L.A. Man, and the first year is basically over of this game, and we are in a pretty bad situation. Let's go through these battles so that we can see precisely how bad of a situation we're in. Okay, I've apparently changed my formation here to have my cavalry act as the meat shield in front, so they're on hold and attack. Which is fine. Because I have crossbows as part of this formation, I maybe am worried that if I send them to attack early and then the crossbows fire, I might misfire and crossbow my own knights in the back. In any case, obviously we're going to win. Although we actually do manage to lose a knight. It might have been friendly fire, I didn't see. Too bad. Now, as I suspected, the ghosts come onto land, and I would like to point out that so turn order, or let me quit this. So my palisades was one turn away from being built, right? So it was going to be finished this turn, but building construction happens later in the turn than the fights. So if I had lost this fight, I would have lost the construction. And so you lose not only the 600 gold you invested, but like the 4 turns that you had to wait for it. So that's why I really wanted to win this, and that's why it was important to bring all the mage support. And so, yeah, these are his guys. And obviously, oh, so this is the PD, which is why it's kind of moving willy-nilly. But somehow here... I guess I didn't have... I forget from last turn. Obviously, I don't have any meat in front of this. I was just relying on the PD. But I've got, like, tons of mages, so they can just, like... They're old, but they can just lightning bolt all these guys. They have decent MR. But, I mean, I have, like... I mean, obviously, I have way overkill. So my archers, even though they're ethereal... not my archers, but their guys are ethereal. You know, that's... I still have a ton of archers, plus I have a ton of mage spam, so yeah, clearly they didn't stand a chance. But this does actually illustrate something, which is that unlike Airmore, Airmore has like 50 morale skeletons. Lemuria's guys will actually rout. They only have 15 morale. So they're just kind of shitty soldiers that are ethereal, so they're not shitty, but like still, if you kill enough of them, they run away. Good to note for the future. Anyways, so we do win this battle, losing nothing. So that was very satisfying. Then we sneak attack into here. So Marignon, who's been annoying with his commander, has not put any PD. And so as soon as we start, these guys rout. So these crossbows were actually guys that he recruited from his cap, or these look like Indie crossbows actually, but whatever, he recruited these, but he has 0 PD in this province, so he just show up and they rout. Good to know. However, he's a jerk and he attacks me, and so there's nothing here really, there's just no real PD, so he just comes and kills all my dudes. So that's really not nice. And then an unexpected event, we lose gold. We lose a scout here, that's not important. Okay, so Marignon has taken these 3 provinces from us. This was the one that, he's taken 3 provinces from us. Plus, we lost 2 to random events. And obviously, and we made that terrible mistake early on, which has cost us a lot. Like, we could have all of this land probably, or a bunch of it, if we had made smarter choices. Now, fortunately, we can benefit from some of Marignon's misplays. So we snuck this province, and the reason this was so satisfying, first of all, it's a decent province, but most importantly, these provinces don't generate any income for him this turn, because he can't connect this to his cap, to a fort. Now, I see that he's got a big army here with his sacreds and crossbowmen. And at this point, I can only assume... So notice here that this army, I took the Indies over here, and then this army is heading south to take this province from Marignon. Of course, I could have taken this here, but he's been taking my shit, so why shouldn't I take his, is the thought process. However, there's a risk that he defends, right? That he moves these guys over here. But I kind of mind game him, and I assume that in fact what he's going to do is take this province because he wants to reconnect with the rest of his empire. And if you recall last turn, we noticed that he was building a fort way out here in this province, which honestly is very risky. He's only... So, despite him having an awake pretender, notice that Alm has, we now see, has expanded all the way here. So he has an awake fire god, and he's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this 9th province. So he's been way too timid in his expansion, clearly. Unless he had some big early screw-ups that I didn't see, which is possible. So he hasn't had great expansion either, but the little expansion he's had has been at my expense, which is really, really annoying. And I still don't have a way to kill a fire dragon, by the way. So yeah, that's bad. Meanwhile, we have regrouped this army and are trying to take this border province here. We successfully fended off Lemuria, and now we have our palisades on the border. However, we also notice that Lemuria has taken this province, which has a throne in it, and I don't know which throne it is, but obviously he's going to fort it. So now we have a pretty hard border with Lemuria. And because we both have cold dominion, this is going to be frozen the whole time, so this is always going to be accessible to him. What really worries me is that because he can go through water, it is possible that he could attack me from the south here, and I hope that doesn't happen. For now, this province and then later this province could be my border against Lemuria, and it's much more manageable if you just have one choke point to deal with. In terms of recruitment, we're pretty much doing this for the rest of the game, which is to say 1 Magister plus 1 of these sacred guys. Once we get more forts, we could even have 3 of these guys at the same time because they're actually decent combatants. I mean, obviously you want to have research, but these are cap only, whereas these guys you can recruit anywhere. I'm continuing to recruit Cav, and this time we are... so what I've done here is I have taken... So I decided to do... So now I notice I have 3 armies of sneaks. I've got this army here. I had recruited another one and temporarily moved it here to help fight against Lemuria. That army is coming down here, and so is a new army of sneaks that... Oh, no. Just 2 armies total, sorry. 2 sneaking armies total. It is going here along with fresh recruits from the capital, and I'm reinforcing my front here against Marignan. So that's what's happening there. Notice that because I'm engaged with Marignan here, I still haven't had the time to put together a force to go take these lands, which is really driving me crazy. We are recruiting defenders here, which are our favorite dudes. And once this is made into a fort, which I have started, then I'll actually start recruiting our mages. So that's it for the recruitment this turn. Nothing too fancy about the scripting. I don't think. Yes. Oh, and the last thing I should mention is, so this sneaking army, knowing that he's going to attack me here, these are just like short bows, so they can fight PD, but they're not going to fight the sacreds and crossbowmen. So we are sneaking here because he has a lot of PD here, and my goal is actually to kill this province because he's building a fort, and I've calculated that I can get to it in time before he finishes the fort, and that his dragon is going to do something else because his dragon is here. So I think maybe he's going to continue this way. Yeah, so that is this turn. Let's go to the next one. I think that was 12, so this is turn... I mean, I shouldn't be calling them turn 13, whatever, but I think it actually does line up. I think it actually is turn 13. This is... Yeah, this would be turn 13, or maybe 14. Whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, messenger from Alm. Oh, so actually I mentioned I said 2 turns ago that me and Elm had agreed they were going to fight Lemuria, but apparently I was wrong. It's hard to remember the timing of the diplomacy. But yeah, he's like, let's deal with the ghosts or no? And I'm like, yes, please. Okay, let's look at these fights. This is us taking the province here, and I'm like, please, 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 no army. And in fact, no army. And in special fact, like, so these are more indie crossbows and heavy cav. So what that means is he's actually recruiting the indie, like, troops and has 0 PD. So that's pretty bad. You should have 1 PD, right? And that's a waste of money, basically, because they're all routing when I attack. Then he... oh, yes. This is an interesting battle. So he attacks this... he attacks this throne. Now, this throne so has a bunch of crossbows, a bunch of heavy infantry, and then these Deathblood guys. Now, the thing is... Okay, there's a couple things. But the main thing is... yeah, he actually doesn't have a ton of stuff. So a few things, actually. So first of all, he's fighting against a ton of crossbows. And so the crossbows actually hit these perfectly fine. These guys have awe. They're good against melee. But they're not that great against non-melee. And then, so his dragon, for some reason, is casting for 2 turns and then is going to the back to melt things. But the way he scripted his guys, it looks like the bulk of his sacreds just kind of move off to the side here. And so he's got like 5 sacreds fighting a whole ton of heavy infantry. So things are being melted here in the back. The mages are spamming skeletons, not very efficiently, but still they're doing it. I didn't see here, but clearly it looks like he's lost a couple of his sacreds in this fight in the front. He has caused a rout of the militia, and obviously he melted all of the archers. However, the front, like these skeletons and some of the heavy infantry have gotten to his archers in the back because his sacreds were kind of like, I don't know, got distracted here. And he's now lost the front line of sacreds. So basically, he had too many sacreds trying to be sneaky and attacking rear or something, and not a wall in front of his archers. So this heavy infantry comes and just kills the rest of his troops. Meanwhile, oh look, we turned away, and he lost more sacreds. In fact, yeah, it almost looks like he ate a fire breath here too on his sacreds. But my point is, yeah, he didn't script his guys well, and more importantly, he HP routes. Right now he's lost all of his crappy, whatever, not crappy, but all of his crossbows and a bunch of his sacreds, and so the dragon actually routes because it's an HP route. He might have taken this with the dragon alone, but because he attacked this way, he actually loses the battle. So that's nice, I guess, for us. He lost he lost his commanders for whatever. He had these are bad leaders anyways. I don't know why he needs them. They could all be following the dragon, but whatever. So he lost his troops, and that caused the HP rout, and then he just loses the fight. Of course, he doesn't lose a dragon, but still. Now, this does mean that this throne is now much more vulnerable, and anybody can basically come and take it. I attack this. This is the mountain province. Not much we need to look at. And then Marignan takes the one province that I had taken from him, as I expected. Now here is my spies looking at this battle here. And so actually I should mention, so like Airmore, Lemuria has these holy special kind of buffs for their undead, so it could make them have like more MR or just be better in general. So ton of heavy cav, right? So dangerous, right? Nope, these are ethereal, so they just don't get killed and eventually kill everything. So he loses like, a couple guys and manages to kill 18 heavy cav. And then unexpected events. We lose gold, and then we get random defense here, which is actually really awesome because I know this can be attacked at any time, so it's actually great to get a random defense event here. So, we'll take it. All right, so now what? A few things here. So, yes, this is the province that I took from here, and now I am converging. I see that Lemuria has taken this province because, remember, it got taken by barbarians? Yeah. I didn't have a scout here, so I couldn't see what he was this fight, but obviously he took it. So what I decide to do is, well, I can't let him have this. I want to have a fort here for sure because it's my cap circle, right? So I take this army, and I take whatever army from here, and I move. And I bring a few mages also, just to be sure. By now, we have Alteration 4. So that means we do have Wind Guide, which is good. Not only do we have Wind Guide, but another thing that's good at Alteration 4 is Body Ethereal, which is a very nice spell. Unfortunately, so let me talk about this. Body Ethereal is Area of Effect 1, and it makes your guys ethereal. So that's nice. Many nations, not many, but there are some nations. Oh, excuse me, I just need to cough here. Okay. There are many nations in the game that have cheap recruitable astral like S1 mages, and so you can kind of recruit a bunch of them, spam Body Ethereal on your army, and then do a communion or something, and yeah. But we have astral mages, but they're like old, expensive mages, so we can't really spam this, but it's still a very good defensive spell. After this, I am going into Conjuration. I want to get Conjuration 3 so that I can get some air elementals, should I need them. This also, if you have Earth 2s, it's a common target because you get Earth Power, which is a very good spell. And later I want to get Thaumaturgy so I can get communions and whatnot. So that's what's going on with the research. So we're attacking here, and the script is basically we don't have much. I'm basically counting on the mages to do most of the work. We've got like a tiny bit of really shitty guys in the front, and then hopefully the mages are gonna scare them, is the plan. Which is not a great plan, but that's the plan. And yeah, and hopefully we get lucky with the cav and they attack rear and kill the commander. So that's my awesome plan. Meanwhile, I have sent so remember a few turns ago, but maybe it was last episode, I had made this Dragon Slayer crossbow, and I was hoping that I could get the dragon. So he retreated from here, and so Bobby the Dragon is now here. So I have taken Sneaky Dudes, this army, and this new army, with all your powers combined. So actually, this is let me talk about the script. So there are two issues here. I'm trying to catch his dragon. It turns out catching a dragon is really hard. Because as long as he moves in friendly territory, he's going to go before me. And in hindsight, it would be very unlikely that he would just stay here with his dragon. However, I want to take this province back anyway, so I don't mind taking the province back. And if he does stay in a province with his dragon, suppose I had split up these armies and just attacked different provinces independently, it'd be very likely that I would lose if I just fight with one of these armies against a dragon. However, all of these armies combined definitely have a chance. And here is the plan to fight the dragon. The dragon is most likely, I saw, based on how it was scripted, it's scripted on, do things and attack rear, right? So he casts 2 spells, then attack rear. And so I have a bait squad. This squad is in the back. And its job is to welcome the dragon. It's going to die. Then these heavy cav are on hold and attack flyers. They're in the back, so when the dragon comes here, like on the second turn, it'll be hold 1 turn, hold 1 turn. Then on the third turn, they're going to start moving forward, and then the dragon's going to land here, and they're going to go right back and pin him down. And then once he's pinned down, all of these dudes are just going to fire at the dragon. Of course, and we have Wind Guide, so they're going to hit, but then they're not going to do any damage, but maybe we'll get lucky. However, this guy's also firing at flyers. And so is this guy, and so is this guy. So I've got a few crossbows firing at flyers. And then these mages are doing just... Oh, I even had... For some reason, I had this guy with 2 gems too. I don't know, that seems excessive, but whatever. These guys are just doing Body Ethereal, and then they're spamming Phantasmal Warrior, which are ethereal, kind of weak soldiers, but they're ethereal, so they're just there to keep the dragon busy. So this is not a terrible script to try to bait a dragon. Oh, also, I assume maybe he has crossbows or something here. Yeah, I see the crossbows, so I have like 3 knights on attack archers, which is also not a bad plan. So that's my script. So that if I don't find a dragon, whatever, I'm gonna kill this. And if I do fight a dragon, hopefully I kill it. So we're expecting 2 big fights here next turn. Not big, but this fight and that fight. Oh. And more mind games. So remember this army? I took this from him last turn because he took this. Now I am expecting him. I don't know what I'm expecting here, but I decide I'm going to cut him off right here. I don't see what's in his cap. So it's possible that he has some army in the cap that he's going to move out here to reinforce. It's possible. However, he moved this out like 2 turns ago, so whatever he has in here, it's maybe 1 or 2 turns worth. And I'm hoping that this will be enough to take it. What I'm pretty much assuming is that he's not going to move back here to defend. I don't know why I assume that. That seems like a pretty silly assumption, but that is what I assume. Because I would see this as an obvious vulnerability, and maybe I would defend this somehow, but for some reason I decide this is safe. That's just the call I make at that time. And I think in my timing, I think I realized I still have 1 turn on this fort. So maybe that's why I don't attack here right away. That must be it, because otherwise I really don't want this fort to come up. So I think I know I still have 1 more turn before this fort finishes, so I can afford to kind of go here and then take the fort next turn. I hope, otherwise that's that's a pretty insane choice. Yeah. Also, notice that at this point, I have switched to recruiting more of these Lord Wardens because they're sacreds, and I'm gonna need... They're sacreds and they're priests. And so I'm gonna need all the help I can, because now I'm fighting 2 wars, remember? Now I'm fighting Lemuria also. By the way, at this point, I think already this guy has gone AI. He went AI really soon in the game, and so this is the AI that's been expanding. Tianqi is also tiny, but he has managed to take this throne. He has not moved north yet, however. And I'm kind of curious. I assume that they have some kind of deal here because they never fight the whole game, which is pretty amazing. But yeah, they never fight. So I'm now fighting a war on 2 fronts, and I still have not managed to take this land, which is a shame, but I have to do something about Marignan. Okay, so that's that turn. In fact, this is a good time to end the episode. It's been a bit of a slower pace this time, but as the turns get more complicated, it's going to take a while to go through them. So let me just make sure, was there anything else? I don't think we were crafting anything. We can't afford to hire any mercs, although to be fair, now there's an AI, so maybe he'll outbid us all, and I just desperately need the money to build infrastructure, right? So also I don't have any money because Marignan keeps taking all my provinces. Anyways, I'm still mad about it, like, you know, a month or 2 after the game or whenever I played this. All right, see you guys next episode, next turn. Take care.